Hey everybody, Steve Green here, back for our twice weekly live event. And let me tell you why you want to hang on today. Let me tell you what's going on today. It's big. Tonight, I am doing a presentation. So I'm going to kind of use today a little bit to preview what's going on tonight. Okay, so here's what it is. The SAT, the ACT, both canceled in April, May, June, threw a lot of the test prep world and by extension, the college admissions world into a little bit of a free fall. I was working at one point with about 35 students who were going to take the SAT and or ACT in the spring. Where we live in Pennsylvania, things were hit a little bit harder. We got shut down earlier than a lot of the rest of the country. So we actually missed 3 cycles of the SAT, March, May, and June. So here's the big question. This is what's going to get covered tonight, is how has this impacted the college admissions world, if it has at all? Okay. So that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. I'm going to talk about number one, what is still the same with admissions and the process and the SAT and the ACT? Because it's not like they've dropped everything and started over. What's going to be the same? What has not changed? So if you're a parent of a 10th grader, an 11th grader for sure, maybe even a 12th grader or 9th grader, high school student basically, and you want to understand what's going on here, this is going to be very important information. Is tonight, today is Thursday, May 28th, 7 p.m. There is a link below here, or should be, where you can register for the event. It's free, but I need people to register so I have a count, because there's a cap on how many people can be in the room for the presentation on Zoom. Anyway, number one, what is the same? Number two, which is probably more of a relevant topic, what's different? What's changed? Okay. What's easier? What's harder? What's just different? Okay. Number three is, what's your timeline? What can you do starting now or next week or very shortly to maximize your circumstance as a student? Because if you're a high school student, to a degree, besides learning what you're going to learn and socializing and everything else, one of your main goals, presumably, is to position yourself, get into college, right? I think that's a fair assumption to make. Of course, not every high school student goes to college or wants to go to college. There's plenty of other paths that can be very successful. But the idea is, if your college prep track, is to go to high school, take academically rigorous classes, get good grades, get good scores on tests like the SAT and ACT, so you can go to a quote-unquote good college, this is the situation that's been disrupted a little bit. I'm not going to get into what's a good college or bad college. It doesn't really matter. It's whatever's good for the student. So the key is, once you get through the GPA and you get through the test scores, whether it's SAT, ACT, or both, and you have your whole admissions packet together, what is your level of confidence that you will be accepted by the schools that you're applying to, and particularly the ones that you would consider your number one choice? Okay? Not your safety school. Okay? That's the key. That's where you need to position. This is not something that somebody can do overnight. Something that can happen in an hour. Okay? By the way, if you have questions or comments, please drop them below. There's a link. I'm doing this in a program called StreamYard, which doesn't interface directly with Facebook. There's a link. You need to click on that link, which is underneath this live, and it'll kind of give you access to doing that. Otherwise, I'm going to try to monitor over here on my phone. That's why I'm looking away every once in a while. But anyway, so just to recap, number one, what is the same with the admissions process in the SAT world and the ACT world? What's different? What's changed? What's new with the process, the SAT and the ACT world? What timeline should your child have in order to maximize their opportunities when it comes time to decide on a college? Okay? How are you going to give yourself the best choice, the best opportunity? And the other thing we'll get into tonight is just what's basically everybody's individual decision of how you're going to proceed and how you want to make that decision. So it's a combination of the timeline, kind of the new rules, the old rules, all that. It's more than I want to get into in the scope of this short live presentation. But at any rate, that's what's going on. Why am I doing this? Fair question, right? Well, I'm in the tutoring world. I'm in the education world. I've been tutoring over 20 years, 24 years, actually. I've done thousands of kids prepped for tests like SATs and ACTs. And this is the first time that we've gone through a prolonged interruption. So it's new ground. I've done a lot of research. I've probably spent 15, 20 hours researching to put this presentation together for tonight, reading articles, reading expert opinions, reading just opinions. Not everybody agrees on what's going on with this sort of thing right now. I'm going to try to put it together in a concise and clear way. The bottom line is this is designed to benefit and help students in that window of 10th, 11th grade. But 9th graders, this is coming down the pike for you. And 12th graders, you still may have some loose ends you're going to have to deal with to help them position themselves as strongly as possible. So even though it's a live event, I'm still going to try to do a Q&A and try to give a situation where people can ask questions and roll from there. So with that in mind, it's tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Scroll down a little bit. You will see a link underneath where you can sign up. I appreciate it if you would. And more importantly, please share with somebody you think may be interested. So given that that event is tonight, I'm going to keep this short. Let me just check and see if there are any comments that need to be addressed. We got one question. If I can't make it to the event, what do I do? It's going to be recorded. Great question. Probably should have addressed that. I'm going to record it, and I will make that available. But the way I'm going to make it available is through the link, the same link. So if you were interested, please register for the event. Even if you can't make it, just click on the link. It's free. It gives me a head count of who may possibly be there. But I'm planning to record it, maybe releasing that en masse, and do a breaking up into smaller sections, maybe just a shorter one that's just about what's the same, a shorter one about what's different, a shorter one about the timeline, a shorter one about moving forward. The goal is to keep this about a half hour tonight, not today, not right now. Goal is to keep it about a half hour. Then we roll from there. So let me see if there's any other questions. Is this appropriate for students? Yes. Is this appropriate for students? Yes. I don't know what their attention span is or their direct interest is, but I'm going to be speaking to students and to parents. Parents really need the information as well because you want everybody on the same page in a coordinated effort. But ultimately, those who are going to benefit the most are the students. And they really need to know what's going on because they're the ones who are going to have to deal with prepping for the test, taking the test, dealing with the applications, things of that nature. So yes, will be recorded if you don't get it tonight. If there's enough interest, and there's over 35 people registered right now, probably do another one soon. Look down the road, I'm going to do another workshop like this on how to avoid summer drop-off, how to avoid gaps in your education because of the lack of direct instruction the last 4, 5, 10 weeks of school. Finally, please go to makethegrade.net. You can see it underneath me in the scroll. All kinds of academic information there. Check out a lot of the services I have. I'm driving a lot of people to the community right now. This is a 24/7 place to get help, get support, get information like we're talking about here. So that's all I really got for today. I hope to see all you back 7 o'clock. Please register, check in, share it with other people you know, and we'll go from there. So Steve Green, thank you very much for Make the Grade. The theme for tonight, and this was what's going on with college admissions in the world of COVID. So long.